rugs? Okay. Is there any rocks in front of us? Please let me know. Aww.
Aww.
See, look, is this our ship? Look, yeah. Look, there's Ken. Look. See? There's Ken's character. What is that? Yeah. That is an ogre. No, that's Aunt Mel's character. That's her toy. That's her toy. I said it instead of she.
You might as well.
I just realized that.
Want a cigarette? Don't know about you, but I'm barely keeping it together. Before the 90s, you could smoke anywhere, but now?
Yeah.
Sure, thanks. Don't mind if I do.
Why are there no fire alarms going off in the bathroom?
Finally think again.
Are they gonna make out?
They put restrictions on everything these days. Corral us out in the freezing cold in a designated smokers area 15 feet from the door. Like nobody
They're
ever
very
took a drag in front
close.
of the Mona Lisa before they put it behind glass. You feel me? Sure. Yeah, I feel ya.
So, what's it gonna take to get you out of those pants there, Tommy?
Oh, shit.
That was fucking mean!
Protector in the bathroom.
If you want to, feel like you're a member of the community and that you go to Mel, okay? If you want to have a good... Jesus, get out of my face. If you want to outright... Oh my God, she's just everywhere. Just this hideous pirate. If you want to just be entertained and hear about and see fantastic old games that are reimagined, where's our ship? Did somebody steal our ship? Jesus God, Mel, get that ugly mug. I'm gonna friggin' shoot you. There's nothing on the table here.
What? Yeah, in the back left.
I see propose voyage.
Yeah, I see. Jesus, Mel, get...
Oh, vote for it.
There you go.
This is a tiny room. I'm a large woman, okay?
Good for you. Okay. Jesus! Mel, make a new pirate. God damn it, that's fucking hideous.
Alright, let's... Wait,
Found
what?
a new game.
Jesus. Well, who here's having trouble with erections? Because you're not anymore. I'm a prettier woman than you in this game.
God. By the way, thank you guys for hanging out with us in chat. You guys were fun. And I'm not saying that just because I've had 2 glasses of wine.
Never.
Yeah, she doesn't start lying to you until 4.
This is true. And that may be why I only last to like round 5. Pun not intended. Because I really am
Round
secretly
5,
hoping...
I can't imagine.
Okay, hold on. Were you playing off the pun? Because that would be fucking hilarious.
Yes. Well, you said, yeah. I mean, round 5 in real life? Good luck.
It's called Stamina, Ken. Zoe, I'm so sorry.
It's called G Fuel, bitch.
Yes, G Fuel. We're totally sponsored.
G Fuel. You want to say hi? Hi. There's the camera. There you go, sweetie.
Can she wear the hat?
Liliana, you want to wear Daddy's hat? Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I gotta see this. It's so cute.
Doing good, sweetie? Yeah? You like my hat?
You
Oh.
can't even see her head. It's just hat and arms.
Okay, we're now west. You want to say hi to everybody?
Okay, let's try that again. Here I was, all kinds of proud because I hit the timing right. And for some reason the mic didn't want to respond. Joy! What's up, guys? We are back! Yeah, I was muted. And I ran all the prep too. Like, I made sure, we were in frame as much as possible. I had the game prepped. Nope, Mike decided he wanted to screw me. Yeah, there we go. It takes a second or two. But yes, we are back with more, I almost said World of Warcraft. That's incorrect. That's a totally different type of fight. Why am I so bright? That's really weird.
Yeah.
Oh, Alma says, hello, Mr. Cocktail. Your name now is Mr. Cocktails.
Hi there.
So, we just completed the Battle of the Bulge, and Ice, what's up, dude? I'm here to say hello. You look normal tonight. Thank you. Hope you are feeling well. I am. Hope you are feeling well, too. Actually, we just found out my dad got the COVID, and we're assuming that the rest of the house did, too, so...
But we didn't get any symptoms, so
Nope.
you know, we got lucky.
Yeah.
But now we are immune for at least 3 months, if not 6 months. Gives us time to get the shots.
Oh, Alma donated $5. Have a beer on me, Mr. Cocktails.
All right.
I will totally treat him. What is your most favorite beer?
I like Miller Lite. No,
He's an easy
Miller Genuine Draft.
Miller Genuine MGD.
Yep.
What didn't they call that the champagne of the beer?
No, that was Miller.
That's
Miller High Life
Miller
was
High
the
Life.
champagne. Yeah, they were saying that back when I was a kid.
Aunt Jan, what's up?
Hey, sis.
Hey, Snark, how's it going? Yay! I'm so glad you guys are loving this series. Yes. So, oh shoot, what were we talking about? Damn it, I can't remember now.
The RHINE.
Whoops. And Amma deleted her message. I think her cat got on her phone. Yeah, so we just got done with the Battle of the Bulge, and we weren't quite sure where we were going to go next, because at this... Oh, yeah, no, that's my aunt. No worries. But thank you, though, Amma, for always looking out. So, because you said there was a split that kind of happened.
Yeah, what happened was that the British went up through Belgium and in an operation called Operation Market Garden. And
That's a weird name.
It turned into a disaster. It violated every plan, military plan that you can ever put together. And a lot of people died over that. At the same time, though, Patton was headed to the Rhine, and he was going to get into Germany. He didn't care.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening with Patton, though, is Patton came in and went into southern part of Germany. And the plan from Eisenhower was that they were going to let the Russians come in from the east and basically go and take Berlin. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, that's how they tried it. But Market Garden, we'll get into that whenever Melissa gets into that. But it was a total disaster.
That's a shame, too. I mean, like, why split your resources? It makes no sense.
Well, it wasn't that as much as it was you violated certain battlefield rules. In other words, everything went up one road. Mm-hmm. And so, therefore, you couldn't protect your flanks. Mm-hmm. That's a no-no.
Yeah, that's a big no-no.
And then on top of that, they had to take like 4 bridges within a certain time frame, and they took paratroopers and landed them in certain spots. They were to take the bridge and hold it until they were relieved. Unfortunately, in early stages, somebody was carrying a copy of the plan and got captured by the Germans.
Ooh.
So the Germans got hold of the plan, knew exactly when the paratroopers were going to come in, where and stuff, and a lot of them got shot up before they ever hit the ground.
Oh, that's
So
terrible.
that was just a mess. Patton's problem was that Patton would go full bore. I mean, he wasn't going to slow down for anybody.
Nope.
And sometimes he overextended himself. But that's okay. I mean, if I had to go to war with somebody, I think I'd go to war with Patton.
You either have to be, in it to win it or don't do it at all.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. So it sucks. I totally agree. But yeah, you're either going to win this thing or you're not going to fight. Mm-hmm. So I found tonight that I got the first half of the shot. I get the first half of the shot on Monday. Nice. Yeah, let me know how that goes, because I've heard the first one is, but the second one's the big doozy. So curious to hear how that goes.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that he got the second one. He got it ended up giving him problems for the first 24 hours. Where he had a headache and he had a little feverish and really felt tired and stuff. But I told him, I said, it's better than getting the full case of the virus. So.
Oof, yeah. Like, it didn't hit me nearly as hard as him. I had, like, a night where I'm like, oh, wow, I actually feel, like, physically weak. And then the next day, I was fine. It took him for a bit of a ride. We were actually worried because...
But that wasn't the vaccine. That was the virus.
That was the virus, yeah.
No, it had very little effect on me. I was fighting something else at the time.
Yeah, I think that was also causing problems. And that's what they say has been causing problems for a lot of people. It's not the virus itself. If you have nothing else going on, they're like, yeah, chances are you're going to get through it just fine. It's when you've got other complications on top of that.
Yeah, I had a lung infection, which is bacterial. I get that from time to time.
Yeah.
So I know what to expect and stuff. And normally, if there's a dust storm down here, or you get some guy,
plenty.
yeah, you get some landscaper's got a leaf blower and he's blowing all that dust and it gets in.
Shit.
So I've had that a few times. One time it got kind of serious where I actually got pneumonia. And this time I thought that's where I was headed, so I went over to urgent care, and the symptoms, the doctor agreed the symptoms weren't related to COVID, but they decided, just for the hell of it, let's just do a test. I did, and then 2 days later I found out that I tested positive. But again, I didn't have any symptoms with the thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they say about 40% of the people don't get symptoms. But the problem is they don't know they have it unless for some reason they get a test.
True.
So that's why it's kind of rough out there, because if you have it, you can spread it and you don't even know you have it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, Alma says, I'm not worried about the vaccine. I drank out of the hose as a kid. I remember those days.
We did a lot of things as kids.
You never would do as an adult.
We had the monkey bars when I was in grade school.
Oh, those were torture.
Oh yeah, we drank water out of a hose and never even thought twice about it.
Wooden slides.
But there's some thought that says because we did all of that actually helped us out as far as being able to handle certain germs and stuff.
It's like being a kindergarten teacher.
Well, that's right. See, and now without doing any of that, our bodies just don't know how to handle when something invades, and it's. You go back and see what we did as we were kids in the 50s, and you say, "Oh, wow, they never let us do that today."
Yeah, whoever thought lawn darts was a good idea for a toy for a kid. Mm-hmm. That's what we had.
Yeah, but the lawn darts they had a blunt end to them. I mean, they weren't going to go through you, but they could
take out an eye.
Well, that's true too, and they had a hard tip to it, so they can hit you in the head. But
ate the community cake after some kids spit all over it. You are a brave woman.
Mm-hmm. But we used to ride in the back end of a pickup truck and all that stuff.
No seatbelt.
Ride on the handlebars of a bicycle. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And all the stuff at high school he still won't tell me about.
And we survived it all, though.
Including, was it cherry bombs in the toilets?
Well, we were trying to help out the plumbing.
By ruining it?
We didn't ruin it. I mean, everybody was sitting in class and everything was quiet, and all of a sudden you hear this boom, you know? And then we'd all crack up laughing because we knew what happened.
You're like...
Oh, yeah.
Says, your dad was in the military. He's been vaccinated for diseases that don't even exist. We were just talking about that earlier. You said when they vaccinated you, they did it with an air gun. Yeah,
they had a pneumatic thing, which actually made a whole lot of sense, because if you're going to vaccinate a lot of people in a short period of time, having to deal with needles, and you can only use one, and then have to change the needle and this, that, and the other thing. Ooh. And then you had to get the bottle and you had to draw this stuff out. With us, we would do 100 people at a time, and we'd walk down this one line, and there would be doctors on both sides, and there'd be 3 on one side, 2 on the other. Each one has a gun.
Oh my God!
And as you go down, you stop, bang, they hit you. Take another step, bang, and both sides hit you. And then so on. It wasn't bad. They just told you that you don't flinch, because if you flinch, that thing's going to cut you. And some people didn't listen. But we were able to get through it in a hurry. The only one that bothered me was the last one. I don't know what one that was, but it felt okay. I took 3 steps and I was on my knee. God, that hurt.
Was it like the tetanus one? That
no, I think it was a flu one.
Oof.
But yeah, they gave us stuff for malaria and all kinds of stuff.
All the things.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant when some kid blew out the candles, chances are they spit in. Oh, of course, yes. Mm-hmm. Aunt Jan says, my boss's mom got it and she was 104. She lost her appetite for a few days. Wow.
Yep, that happens.
And Bill says, cherry bombs, the super plunger. Indeed.
Amen to that.
Aunt Jan says, what about the car in the gym?
Oh, Dean had a Volkswagen convertible, a Beetle, and we used to have fun with that thing. A lot of guys used to take it out for a ride during the day. They used to hotwire it and stuff like that. And then finally, the Dean turned around one day. He says, "Look, I know that some of you guys are taking my Volkswagen." And he was a cool guy, okay? But at least you could do is put some gas in it when you're done.
That is a cool guy.
So then one day, I didn't get involved in this one, but I wish I did. One day, a bunch of guys decided that they were going to take his Volkswagen and put it on the middle of the gym floor, which was also the basketball court. So they put the top down, and about 10 of them got up there, and they had to tilt the car sideways in order to get it through the door. And my first class of the day was gym, so I didn't know they did that. And all of a sudden, I show up for gym, and here in the middle of the half court line is this Volkswagen Beetle, and all of us just cracked up over that. I mean, it was just. I mean, they didn't do anything destructive.
No.
They didn't hurt anybody, but they definitely had some fun.
Oh, I can imagine. It says, my ex was in the military before getting deployed. They all got vaccinated. Saw a table with a bunch of shots, and he asked which one was for him. The nurse said, all of them.
That's right. Well, yeah, but look at it this way. When they sent you to Southeast Asia, I mean, oh, yeah. I mean, they had a whole bunch of stuff they used to shoot your arm up with.
Yeah, malaria is not fun from what I've heard.
Dengue fever and...
Oh, yeah.
all of that stuff.
So we are heading into the Rhine. So we had to take a little bit of a side tour because Germany got a little feisty. So we had to reclaim that and then reclaim that. So now we're going to take the Rhine. And I don't know if the Rhine is just this bridge because I've only played this once. But let's find out because this is March 7th, 1945.
Well, there was a bridge and that looks like it. When they crossed the Rhine, the military, U.S. military were blowing up bridges. And they were trying to stop the Germans from retreating. And the Germans were going to blow up some bridges as soon as all their people retreated and they can get most of their armor back so that to prevent the Allies from crossing the Rhine. Mm-hmm. And there was a bridge in Remagen. There's a movie about that. And it's a Ludendorff Bridge. And there was a big fight over that Ludendorff Bridge. And then the Germans tried to blow it up and something happened. And not all the charges went off, and they think that it was one of the artillery pieces kind of busted one of the charge lines and stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
So what happened was the Allies went ahead and took the bridge, and the bridge stayed together for a while, and then after a couple of weeks, it finally just collapsed. But by that time, the Allies already built a mobile bridge.
Oh, nice.
You know, so. But yeah, that movie, and it was about crossing the Rhine. It was the bridge at Remagen.
I wonder if this one is it. Let's take a look.
1945.
Remagen, it is.
Good guess, huh?
A very good guess.
We get across. The
Manx Cat, what's up? Oh boy, here we go. At least I'm not in a damn fighter jet or in a tank. We're gonna go with recruit on this one. Octarix, what's up? Happy Valentine's Day to you too.
But I gotta convince Pearson to let me back in the fight. I'm doing it to find Zuss, cause he'd do the same for me. If I don't make it home, well, just watch over him, Paul.
Aw. His girlfriend's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what are you doing here? What's it look like? Suicide.
Hey, I wouldn't go in there. Pearson's been hitting the sauce.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah, our CO has gone a little off the reservation.
Well, I can understand that after the bulge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving up on Zussman.
Tell it to the chaplain, because I got no room for a second. Who can't follow orders?
You weren't following orders when you refused to abandon those
I
boys
did
at
read the
Nazarene.
poem. It was quite funny.
What did you just say to me?
Wow, he's seeing 4 of us.
You heard me.
You better leave while you can still walk.
Can you?
Davis told me it wasn't your fault. You were only trying to do right by your platoon.
Ow.
Ooh.
Get out!
That had some
I'm not
sauce
going
on it.
anywhere.
I said get out!
Ah. That was dumb.
Now we both have a broken hand.
My orders were to fall back. But I just couldn't leave them. I told my men we were gonna hold this pass until reinforcements got here. But they never came. They never came. So I guess you're right. I did get my men killed. Now go.
Not without my platoon.
You think you got some guts, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Try getting the job done day in and day out while your men are dying all around you.
What do you think we've been doing?
Turner would have never given up like this.
Turner is dead.
Then make that mean something. No sacrifice too great.
You don't know anything about sacrifice.
How about this? Honorable discharge papers signed by Davis. My ticket home. I could have had everything. A hero's welcome, my girl in my arms. Hell, even a Bronze Star.
Woo! Damn.
But I got one last mission.
You must be crazy.
And?
Crazy ain't the half of it.
All right, fall in.
Sergeant?
I said fall in, goddammit. If you want in, now's the time. Get the fuck out of my way.
He's about to fall over.
I guess the gang's all here.
Well, get out there and shoot somebody.
Well, you just
Damn.
rip up his honorable discharge, so basically
Yeah.
orders home.
Quit sitting there talking about it. Go out there and find somebody that doesn't have the same type of uniform you have and shoot them.
They are really hard to, like, their
Justice
uniforms look
alive
very close
as
to
it crossed
ours.
that bridge.
Yeah, but their uniforms were different color. It doesn't show that well here,
It doesn't.
but you could tell a German uniform from America. And plus the helmets.
Convoy across, we're in the heartland. We'll bust them open.
The SS was always in black uniforms. So
Oh, shit. And he's gone. God, this feels like D-Day again.
Yep, there's the bridge.
Woo! Oh, man, I gotta do stuff now.
See, the artillery and the tanks, the German side,
Yeah.
they had that whole one side of the river.
Ooh, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah.
We gotta secure the bridge entrance. Yes, Sergeant. Come on.
Hey, don't make me regret giving you a second chance.
You know I won't. Let's move.
Oh, yeah, they're way up there in the...
Yep.
Ooh, this is gonna be rough.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them died through that.
Crap, 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 crap. Oh, come on, reload, reload. Hiding behind the tank. Oh, shit. I don't
Just
have the
just stay behind the tank.
Got him. Got him.
Really, you got the wrong gun.
Shit.
In that case, you should have an M1.
Yeah, Grand, I would... What the fuck was that?
Because you're shooting long distance.
Can I please move? Why? Oh shit, I'm stuck. Oh, there we go. Still, not too bad. I'm still hitting them. Okay. Blow up already. God. Oh, shit. Thank you. Yeah, Octarix, I'm starting early on the death count. God, I hope they're not our guys. Shit. Okay, I need to take him out fast. There we go. Oh crap, oh crap. We see that's one of ours. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, this is gonna be a nightmare.
Okay, on the other side of the tank.
Okay. Yep, nope, bad idea.
Because they're all shooting from the tower.
Yeah, I know. Shit. Your marriage isn't over yet, Daniels. Well, I may be missing some limbs when I get back to my girl. Popcorn, thank you. Yeah, I gotta get that guy off the heels. There we go. Yep. Why can't I have a grand?
You got somebody on your left.
Yep. Yeah, he did warn me. Oh my god, reload faster, please. Aye. Get out of my... There he is. I might be able to from here. Nope.
I don't think they're gonna let you get those.
Probably not. I think this is a just avoid them kind of a deal. What are we pushing? Ah! Ha ha! I mean, it's somewhat better. Shouldn't I be going in one of these places? Thank you! Oh! How do you like your Nazis? Medium well. You went upstairs.
Now's the time you want a machine gun.
Yeah, I know. I have the wrong gun at all turns.
They don't let you change guns?
Scheiße. Only if someone drops one. Well, does that pretty well. But here, I'm gonna get a really good gun.
Let's go.
Popcorn! I love me an assault rifle. What can I say? Okay, you are right in my shot. Boom! I did it good. Okay, let's see who else we want to get rid of. I usually have my Nazis medium rare.
Daniels, I got your back. Clear the top floor.
Hi. Give me oh no.
You better shoot him.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that was messy. Did I have to do that? I feel
Yeah,
kind
because
of...
he could have been reaching for a gun.
Oh, that's
a
fair.
pistol. You never leave the enemy conscious behind you.
That's a good point. Scorched earth. I'm gonna crotch shoot you. There you go. Aw. Good Nazi.
Down. Get the fuck down. Stay down. We're all clear.
I'm taking your gun. Aw, that's a shitty one. I'll take a Panzerschreck, though. He just wanted his Kool-Aid. I just wanted to not be shot. Are we done here? Are we good? I'm still crawling. It wants me to... something with over here. Well, I guess we're going downstairs.
Well, if you would have got behind one of those machine guns up there, you may be able to see something.
Squad, on me. We're heading down to the bridge.
Oh, he wants me to run this way. Okay, good. Let's juice up our Panzerschreck. And back to the fray. Hopefully with less dying. Hi.
Krauts are gonna blow the bridge. We gotta stop them. Styles, what do you got?
They're rolling out everything. Just buy some time. We'll handle the charges.
All right, I'll lead the way while Daniels and Styles cover the engineers. Ready?
No?
Come on, let's go.
Oh.
You two, defuse the charges below the main structure.
Krauts are falling back. Stay low and keep sharp.
Okay.
Enemy located.
Where? Everyone's, ducking and weaving. Yeah, I know, right?
Up ahead. On your shot, Daniels.
Can you really? I gotta find. Oh, he's dead. Got it. At a certain point, this is cheating. It's not saying that I care, mind you. Getting away from that. Nope, nope, nope. You put up a good fight. Why am I stuck again? Oh, I guess I had to eat a grenade.
Not paying attention.
No, it wouldn't let me move. Shit. That seems like a good gun.
Nah.
Oh!
Keep moving. We still got a job to do. Daniels, you can signal for mortars.
I'm sorry.
Listen.
If I only had advances and nukes, I know those things are fucking powerful. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me light these bastards up.
Okay, you got a guy up there.
Yeah. Shit. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get that one.
Yeah, you getting folks from the tower.
Yep. Oh, you're right. That's where they're coming from. Oh, I don't want to blow up my guys.
Enemy at the sandbag.
Yeah, you're right. That's exactly where they're coming from. Ow!
Yo, Daniel, why don't you signal the artillery?
This is a better gun? Shit. You were literally just crawling from side to side.
That's what you gotta do.
No wonder. Oh,
Throwing a grenade!
that was not the right one. There, that guy's done. You're done. You're done.
Guy up there.
Ew, big guy. No, shit.
Ah,
Oh, man.
you aren't quick enough.
No, he had a Panzer Shrek too. See, you think you're special, and they're like, no. Oh, I thought these were my guys. Well, don't I feel foolish? I have 8 bullets left after this! You're done, mister.
Daniel, you
Got
get
it.
out the artillery, zero in. Toss me that target and smoke. Here, Daniel.
Shit. Nope. Oh, fuck. I have... There we go. Like, can you please give me a few more bullets?
Ground position spotted.
Yeah, I see him. We going upstairs again? We're going upstairs again. I will do my best to not Panzer Shrek us up here. But no promise. There's that damn sniper. Bye, sniper. Okay, I am gonna take your gun though. Oh. You're just shooting randomly. Oh, I wanted to get him before he went upstairs. There we go. If you see a better gun, let me know and I will totally take it.
Well, for this kind of area, this one isn't too bad.
Oh, good.
Because it's all short range,
Right in your face.
and you got a lot of folks to shoot at. So
Gotcha,
That's everyone.
bitch. MG2. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, well, I think we can vamanos on out of here. Whee! We have done all these things. But we're still getting bombed. Are you my guys? Okay, you're my guys. Here, Sen.
Those planes are gonna take out the bridge. We need to capture those AA guns.
Oh, yay.
Daniels, Howard. On me.
Peekaboo!
Move
Oh, no. No.
now.
Ow.
Suppressive fire now.
Yeah, working on it. But I got a lot of friendlies in my
Those
way.
trenches. Move.
And I can't get around that side. Shiza.
Get your ass over here.
Okay, you know, the smoke isn't as helpful as y'all seem to think. The recoil on this gun blows, though.
you got somebody shooting you from the side.
Are they?
That's why you
Oh, hi!
watch what you're doing there.
See, this
It
is
shows
why
you where it's coming from.
he's watching my 6. There they are. So much smoke. Ah, damn it, I missed that one. This way then. No! Little shit, come back here. I wasn't done shooting you. I was done shooting you. My toy! Yeah. Woo!
Turn left.
Come on, get ahead of him, get ahead of him. Yeah, baby.
Nice, Daniel.
Thank you, sir. Fuck, it's so hard to measure by how far ahead you have to get. Damn. Do you all just fly in like a single line?
Direct hit.
Fuck, 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 fuck. Got him!
Up top.
Where? Oh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, there they are. Okay, so we don't have to go from too far in front.
Keep on. 1 o'clock.
Yep. Yeehaw!
Nice, Daniels.
That was right in my face. Oh, there they are. Hello, boys.
Going down.
Oh, shit. I hope those are our boys, because I'm
think so.
dry.
Boys are here.
Oh, thank God. Makes me want to play Sniper Elite again. That was a great game.
They're gonna hit us with everything.
Yep. I got a present for you guys. Enjoy!
Hey, let's mark targets for orders.
Up with the smoke, I can't see. Oh. You're doing this the hard way. And I missed. Nope, I'm completely dry. I'm gonna take your gun. Let's try this gun. Am I not shooting through that?
Yeah, you gotta get a clear shot.
Yeah. Ow! Not that way. What the friggin' frackin'?
The guy went after you and you didn't shoot him.
I was trying. I couldn't get him in my crosshairs. Hey, Lord of Cancer, what's up, dude? Aw, son of a bitch. Fine, I'm gonna give them the fun run real fast. You eat that. Did that do nothing? That did nothing. There we go. Come on. Where are they coming from? There's 7 bullets again. Joy! There he is. Bye. 1 bullet. That's for you. Oh, never mind. I got 1 more present for you. And it's that.
Too close.
No, that wasn't me. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Thank God I had bullets. Oh, can I stand now? Cool. Tank, can you, like, please?
Enemy spotted! They're coming out!
Everyone stand down! Stand down!
They're surrendering!
It's almost realistic of how that fight happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Yay, we did it! And only 5 deaths. You were gonna call me dead already, Octarix? Man.
Bridge is ours. Corporal Howard. Believe I owe you an apology. You owe me a hell of a lot more than that. Come on through. Just made history, fellas. First across the road. What you looking at, Fritz?
There are reports of POW camps in the area. Davis has ordered us to wait for authorization before conducting a sweep. But I guess you know what to do with Davis's orders.
Oh, you know I know what to do with Davis's orders. Which is good, because I'm out of toilet paper.
Proud our platoon held the first bridgehead on the Rhine. Now our convoy's rolling into the heart of Germany. They say war's as good as won. Not to me. Not while Zuss
Was
is
it
out there.
by that point? Pretty much won?
No.
I was
They
gonna
still have a lot
say.
of fighting to do yet. They're fighting Germany on their own turf, so they fought hard.
After leaving the bridge on our mission east, we searched camps along the way. I thought I knew what cruelty was.
That was tough.
I didn't know anything. But one thing's for certain. What I saw will stay with me forever.
Eisenhower and
Survivors
Patton, as
think the
they
other
took
two
over a camp, had all the German civilians that were in the town next to them and made them have to go through that
All I
camp.
could
Good.
feel was hope he somehow made it.
And Eisenhower was really pissed because his ancestry was German.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
Eisenhower.
Last one.
Oh, we're at the end of the game.
Looks more like a labor camp.
We are freeing the camps. Well, what's left of them? Was it Stalingrad? No, that's Russia. Never mind.
It's deserted.
Oh, now I get an M1 Garand.
Yeah, but you're probably not going to use it. I think the Germans already abandoned those camps.
Mm-hmm.
It's still burning. The rest is just left.
Why does it take so long to turn? Boys? I sense a trap, too.
I don't think there was any.
Oh, it's photo time. Selfie styles. Oh man.
Our guys.
Take out your camera. The world's gotta know.
Yeah, they took some of our guys.
They had them living worse than animals. From the looks of it, they were beaten, starved, and worked to the bone.
Sad thing was the war wasn't over for the survivor of the camps. In 1948, they had to fight again, this time to have their own country. Really? Which country was that? Seriously, why does it take this long to turn? Hey, am I driving a tank?
The Nazis had murdered our boys in cold blood, and no fire in hell could burn away the stain.
I'm guessing they made an example out of him.
Israel. Gotcha.
They'd slaughtered the weakest, anyone that was slowing them down.
This reminds me, if you haven't seen it, a movie called Jojo Rabbit. It is a great movie. It's hard to watch at points, but...
Daniels, you gotta see this. Tracks lead to the fields. That's where they must have marched them.
And that's where we're going.
I wouldn't get your hopes up, Corporal.
I made a promise to Sussman.
We'll find him. I just can't guarantee we'll find him alive.
Sergeant, I'll take point.
Hey, Mark! What's up, dude?
Suspect!
I don't know if it's on any streaming services. I got it on Amazon.
Everything's coming full circle. All I've done. All I wish I'd done. It's like my whole life is leading to this moment.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is a different movie.
Baby brother.
That's his brother.
Paul!
You died right there in the snow.
I mean, he only got bit
All
in the
because I
arm.
Couldn't. Damn it. I'm coming, Zussman. You're not gonna die, brother. Not now.
I
Not
can't
today.
quit you, Zussman. We got one last Nazi to kill.
Suspect!
Come on, you son of a bitch.
Suspect!
Jump! Really? My character sucks ass. There we go.
Shoot the German.
That's my plan. The game is slowing me down.
Is it over? You must be dreaming.
What'd they do?
Thought we were left behind. And I'm gonna die alone out here.
Drink some. Easy now.
Come on, let's get on.
Fuck that shit. I want whiskey, man.
General.
You always looked out.
I'm
for
not
me,
judging
Paul.
Daniels for being gay.
And I reckon you did today. Because there's only one thing that keeps you going on that long march. And that's having your brothers beside you.
Oh.
When
Yeah,
history
that was a
called,
nice headshot.
You answered. From all walks of life, you came to defend peace and freedom. I thank you, and the world thanks you.
That little prick didn't do
Wherever your path
anything.
takes you, know this. You will always be amongst a brotherhood of heroes.
Well, this is it, fellas.
It's the birth of the suburbs. Yep.
And you'll need it more than me. You got a kiddo now.
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Gentlemen.
Queens! Your prodigal son returns!
Oh, you gonna be okay?
Gotta say bye to Zussman.
Sarge?
Going home, Sergeant?
I am home.
It cleans up
What about
nice,
you?
though.
Gonna re-up?
I've been away from Texas for a long time.
You take care, farm boy.
I will. When my son asks what I did, I'll tell him I fought with the first. And that crazy bastard Pearson.
Crazy ain't the half of it.
I'm happy, like, he wasn't a bad guy. He was just
If you're ever in Chicago,
in a horrible situation.
there. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll surprise you in Longview first.
You're welcome anytime.
You know, when they captured us, it wasn't just our freedom that they took. Even though we were together, and we were alone, looking for any way to survive. But you could have gone home a hero. Why'd you come back?
You idiot.
Saw that life. Just couldn't live it. To the end.
To the end.
So yeah, you won.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just surprised that the Rhine was the last fight.
The dream was different last night.
Well, that's because the Russians
This time
took
we made it
Berlin.
Together.
Oh, those
I
lucky
can
bastards.
still hear the
No, they
noise.
weren't. Over 1 million
Still
Russians
see
died
the
trying to take Berlin.
But you showed me how to fight them. So this belongs to you. Because the sacrifice you made taught me that a hero will risk it all to save his brother. And you'll always be both to me.
Aw. The Soviets were much worse than the Germans.
That is true.
Hmm.
As they went through Germany, they raped the women, and I mean,
Oh
they
my
did
God.
Oh yeah, they some nasty. Well, the Germans did that when is the way they treated the Russians when they attacked Russia.
So they basically like sealed their own fate when they
Oh, yeah.
decided, we don't need the Russians, this giant patch of earth right on our back door. That was really dumb of him, wasn't it?
Well, he wanted to attack Russia anyway, but he wanted to take over France and stuff and take care of Europe first, and then go ahead and go after Russia. They
Don't attack me accord? Yeah.
kind of. I forget what the hell they call it. Non-aggression act.
Ah.
But that was so that he bought him time, so he could take in the rest of Europe. The
Never get
problem
into a
was-
land war with Asia, that's true.
problem was that he didn't conquer England.
That's
And
true.
And when he wrote his book Mein Kampf, he mentioned that in there that the biggest error is to have a two-front war, and he ended up with one.
Well, he said, like, from the very beginning, he did not want a two-front war.
That's right.
That's why he got Japan in. It was in case Russia went squirrely, right?
No, they
Or in
actually,
case we did.
Actually, they got Japan only because it really was to keep the Americans busy.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Soviets also carried out genocide against the Prussians that is never mentioned in the history books. Interesting. I did not know. Yeah, Laura Cancer says, the 50s was a time of prosperity, well, except the South. The 50s weren't as glamorous as people think. Why is it that everyone always paints the 50s as like, this was, like, utopia?
The 50s was a simpler time. Mm-hmm. I was born in 50, so by the time 1960 came, I was 10 years old. But all in all, I mean, The 50s wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
The 60s got kind of tough about halfway through.
Because of Vietnam.
And also you had all the race riots and stuff like that. So,
True.
We went through some really tough times then. But the 50s though was really was really a simpler time.
Mm-hmm. Because we were still kind of riding the high of winning World War II, right?
But like the guy was saying in the South, you still had racism going on.
Oh, of course.
And all of that. So yeah, it was. The South really was still kind of messed up, but I was born and raised up in Staten Island, New York. So up in the north, we didn't have as much of that racist stuff going on up there, and so things weren't bad.
Octeric says classic rock music check, diners check, drive-in theaters check. I miss those. Those are kind of coming back now thanks to the pandemic.
Yeah, some of it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But the key thing is we invented rock and roll.
Oh, I know.
And you guys are still living with it today.
Oh, but we invented Metallica, so.
Only because we had heavy metal and stuff, and we created that.
When did you have heavy? Okay, tell me what exactly constitutes as heavy metal.
There
in the
was
50s.
There was a group. There was Led Zeppelin, and then there was another one. I can't think of the name.
Zeppelin's not heavy. Okay, chat. Am I right?
We invented heavy metal, and we invented the term heavy metal. Steppenwolf.
I can't see it.
Steppenwolf did in his song.
Steppenwolf's not metal. Steppenwolf is rock.
You guys don't know what heavy metal is because you weren't there.
You don't know what heavy metal is because you don't listen to Metallica.
We created Metallica. Okay, come on. You guys didn't create anything, all right? Until you created this nonsense they got today. But no, we created heavy metal. Came out in the middle '60s and later '60s, with Steppenwolf and with all of those groups. And they created they named that heavy metal. Heavy metal thunder, they said in Steppenwolf.
I'm sorry, I hear Steppenwolf, all I hear is Magic Carpet Ride. That is so not
Well,
metal.
there was more than just that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, there was a lot of other groups that were considered heavy metal.
Octeric says lead, mercury, gold, bismuth. Now those are heavy metals. So is depleted uranium. That's still the heaviest metal
If you
ever.
didn't have rock and roll, you wouldn't have had heavy metal.
Oh,
and
no,
we created rock and roll.
Okay, I will give you points that you had to have rock before you had metal.
But then again, we had a lot more diversity during the '60s because it started out with the British invasion and the Beatles and Rolling Stones and all of that. And then as time went on, you started to get a lot of the psychedelic.
Ugh, not my favorite,
Well,
but yeah.
some of them were. I mean, me and my buddy Al Largo, we used to go up to into New York from Staten Island, and we were at places that was a lot of that was going on. So we got Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin, and
Hendrix, I would say, was close, or at least closer. Octeric says, "Splish splash, I was taking a bath." Yeah, that is the music I hear in my head every time I hear the 50s.
But that's the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Lord of Cancer says, the Soviets took away culture and almost destroyed Baltic society. Stalin bombed them for no reason, and many people were deported to Siberia. Sweden offered an apology, no shit, to the Baltics for not coming to their defense. When was the last time Sweden was actually doing something in a war?
Nothing. They were always non-combatant.
Always neutral. Wow.
Yeah, always neutral.
No offense to anyone from Sweden, but god damn. Pre-World War II, the Baltics and Nordics had strong ties to each other. The Baltics had a high standard of living. Huh. I did not know that. What countries constitute the Baltics?
Was it Lithuania and oh god, I can't think of them off the top of my head right now.
Uh-huh.
But the Russians always wanted them, and they couldn't take them on their own.
Was it part of the Iron Curtain?
No, this is before the Iron Curtain.
Oh, okay.
Well, Iron Curtain happened after World War II. And the term Iron Curtain was created by Winston Churchill.
It's very descriptive.
Winston Churchill knew eventually that we would have to go after the Russians. And he warned people about that. And they didn't listen. Even Patton said, "Hey, let's go after the Russians now while we got the army over here," and they fired him for saying that.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but it was a you gotta study the states or the countries rather leading up to and also engaging in World War II. Because really, if Hitler was smart, the German and British and United States and France had a common enemy, and that was Stalin and the Soviet Union. If Hitler would have turned around and said, "Hey guys, I got a deal for you.
Let's go after him."
You don't have to do anything. I'll take care of it. I gotta go through Poland to get there."
Oh, that's kind of smart.
And then we would have said, "Go for it." We would have given him all the support and everything. He would have went in there, and they would have taken the Soviet Union. But Hitler wasn't that bright.
You think Germany on their own could have?
Germany took all of Europe on their own.
Well, yeah, but landmass wise,
they again, all they had to do is go about a third of the way through, because everything in Russia was basically out of Ukraine, because Ukraine was the breadbasket of the Soviet Union.
Oh, that makes sense.
Once they took Moscow and those areas, after you go beyond that, I mean, it was a lot of it was a wasteland.
That is true. I keep forgetting that and where exactly their capital sits. It's over, Fat Kid. What's up, dude? How you doing? Laura Cantor says, then the Soviets came in and ruined that. A lot of Swedish Estonians fled to avoid being persecuted. Russia and Sweden had been longtime enemies. The ones who stayed lied about being a Swede to stay alive. The Swedish Estonians' population is endangered today.
Yes, true. Right now with Putin, people don't understand Putin.
I don't understand him.
Putin was a colonel with the KGB.
Oh.
I said that from the beginning. As soon as Putin took over Russia, and that they had to watch out for him because he's an old KGB warrior.
Yeah. Well, you probably would have loved the other game that we played, because we stormed. Wasn't Leningrad. What is the KGB headquarters? Lubyanka. So we had to break into the Lubyanka building. Get
Lots
some
of
data
luck there.
Oh, it got bloody on the way out. I'm not gonna lie, but it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Stopping to say hi and bye. Thank you so much, Fat Kid. I appreciate that. Oh, but I'm curious to hear. So in that game, I'm not gonna take you through it because it can be kind of long. The whole crux of the game is that it's early 80s, the huge tension between the United States and Russia. But what we find out is that at the end of, or at the start of the Cold War, Eisenhower said he feared that if Russia were to move, they would not be able to respond fast enough. So what they did was they seeded like 30 nukes right along the Iron Curtain.
I don't know if they did or they just told the Russians they were there.
That's fair.
Okay, because there's a lot of misinformation going on. Well, that's what ended the Berlin airlift. Germany had cut off Berlin. And we sent a bunch of B-29s over there, and we didn't tell them whether they had nukes or not, but we were the only country with nukes. All right, so the Germans got scared, or the Russians got scared, because they controlled Germany.
Yes.
It wasn't, and then finally they broke the they broke the siege of Berlin at that point in time. The Cold War, that's when it started to get kind of nasty. But during the 50s was really tough.
Right.
And the early 60s was really tough.
Because that's kind of when the big pieces of it started,
well,
right?
yeah. I mean, the Russians were building nuclear weapons. We had a mess of them. There was a thought that there was a bomber gap and a missile gap when Kennedy took over. And then we used the SR-71 and U-2s to find out that there was no gap. That we had superior number of weapons and airplanes and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But the whole thing was to try to isolate or protect or stop the Soviet Union from expanding.
Right.
And that's why they created NATO.
Oh, okay.
So because the Western Europe couldn't defend itself yet.
Right.
They were still trying to get out of the war and stuff. So we did that. That's what really gets me upset with the way we get treated by Europeans, and why I don't understand why we're having to pay as much money as we are to defend Europe. I mean, we rebuilt Europe. The American taxpayer did that. That was the Marshall Plan.
Oh, that was the Marshall Plan.
That was a lessons learned from World War One.
Yeah, it was don't let that happen again.
Don't let it happen again. But as time went on, we expected that the Europeans would start building up a defense force and stuff. And for the most part, they didn't do it, and they depended on us. Well, there came a time that we should have turned around and just told them. And it wasn't until Trump got elected president, whether people like him or not, but he held NATO accountable. They weren't paying. They weren't paying their commitment as far as money, and he got mad at the Germans. He got mad at everybody else over there because they weren't. We were spending a large percentage of our budget on defense, and they were spending very little.
Yeah, it should be
and
somebody shared or don't.
Somebody needed to call them on it, and nobody would because we don't want to upset our allies. Well, when they got trade issues going with us that they were unfair with and everything like that, to me those aren't allies. Okay, so that's what they did, but it was really funny because Trump went in there, and I'm not. This isn't a pro against Trump or anything like that, but what he did was he told NATO, he says, look, if you guys aren't going to abide by the agreements as far as finance and stuff like that, we're pulling out. We're out of here.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
And sometimes you kind of need an asshole to be able to do
that.
Well,
the thing is that his threats were credible. And so therefore, and even after time, the president of NATO praised him for, getting the rest of the NATO countries to start. And they didn't have to pay their fair share. They had to pay what they committed to pay.
Yeah, and that's all I think people were asking.
To me, this is 2021. It's time for us. We don't need troops in Germany and in Europe anymore.
Yeah, what's the point?
Let them take care of themselves.
And they won't do it if someone else is already out there.
And on top of that, they're criticizing us because we're not spending enough on domestic stuff and everything. Well, hey, get into this thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's we've had a strange relationship with Europe. It's still strange today.
Yeah.
France really ticked a bunch of us off because we saved France. We did it twice, and then we rebuilt France. And what's his name was the head of France, and they kicked us out.
Really?
Yeah. They wouldn't join NATO, and then they kicked us out. I always told people, they said, well. I said, France was never an ally. And they said, well, yeah, they were an ally during the Revolutionary War. And I said, the only reason why they were helping us in the Revolutionary War, because they had a fight. They were fighting England at the time.
Yep.
And they were looking to make it, if they teamed up with us, that was going to make things complicated for them. So, you got to call it as you call it.
No, you're right. It absolutely makes for strange bedfellows.
The biggest ally we ever had was the one we fought against the hardest, and that was Britain.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Us and Britain were always close.
Which is funny, because we basically gave them the middle finger when we left.
Well, actually, we threw them out of the United States, but afterwards, no, we never did. I mean, we've always had a very tight relationship with England, and like we have with Japan. It's funny. In Germany, we did too until the EU came along and stuff, and things got kind of squirrely.
Yeah, that's still kind of a mess from what I hear.
But people are saying right now is that it's time that the American taxpayer quit subsidizing all these other countries.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah, they need to get in there and they need to start doing things themselves. If you look at Mexico, you realize how rich Mexico is with resources and stuff.
I have no idea.
There's no country in South of the United States that's as rich as Mexico is. I mean, as far as all the resources and tourism and stuff like that, but yet look at it, it's a mess.
Is it because of like the cartels that are down there?
Well, it's because of political corruption, and then you got the cartels and stuff.
That sucks.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how this thing's going to come out, but we'll have to see. I mean. The rich, the actually most successful capitalistic country used to be Venezuela.
Yep.
And then they went left, and so did the country.
Yeah, and it fell quickly.
Exactly.
Lord of Cancer says, France has a lot of issues with their socialist policies. A lot of my French coworkers have told me it's about to fall apart. Ooh.
That may be possible, but it's France is strange. In fact, with people who don't know France, because I had to deal with the French, and you have the Parisians and you got the French.
So, like north and south, is it still that dividing line anymore?
No, it's Paris and the outskirts of Paris and the rest of France.
Oh.
And the Parisians look down on the common French, and the common French hate the Parisians. So you got that going on there.
Like how we look at anyone from LA.
Well, you can say that. I don't
Sorry,
know.
LA folk.
Hey, you guys asked for it.
I'm not talking to like 99% of you. You know who I'm talking about, like the Hollywood elites kind of crap.
So anyway, France was the one that got us stuck in Vietnam, because at the end of World War II,
bullshit.
Yeah, they wanted to reconquer it. They wanted to regain power over there.
Indochina.
Indochina. And that's why I was telling you about the time when Ho Chi Minh talked to Truman and asked for help, and he really believed that the United States would help him because the United States had a history of not colonizing.
Right.
Very rarely did they colonize. Every time we won a war, we gave the country back and a whole bunch of money to rebuild itself and stuff.
Yeah, we're not bad on that front.
Yeah, so he honestly thought, and when he left and went back to Hanoi, they had parades with American flags up and down Hanoi and stuff.
I heard about that.
And he didn't ask us to go fight the French. He just said, "Don't help the French.
Just don't help them.
We'll take care of it." And we backed France. And then as they got knocked out of Southeast Asia, and we took over because of the treaty commitments and stuff, and then France turned around and badmouthed us. That's the French.
France has a notorious union problem that is out of control, really, to the point where their workers are leaving.
It's funny when you look out there. They only work like a 30, not even a 36. I think it's 32 hours or something like that.
We've been trying to. Pieces have been trying to adopt that.
Yeah, and then they turned around and they tried to get them to work a 36-hour week, and they went on strike. I used to deal with the French when I was working for U.S. Airways, because some of our engines were being done by a company in France, and I hated them. Oh, I tell you, I would get 737 engines overhauled down at GE in GE Selma, which is down in Brazil, and I was down at a great facility. They were turning engines in 57 days. I had an engine in France for over 340 days.
Oof.
And they were part of the OEM, and every goddamn time I was on the phone with them, it was like all they had was excuses, and I used to get mad. I sat there. We had about 5 companies that were supporting us on a status call engine thing, and I was in charge of it, and I even went out of my way to embarrass them. And the SNECMA.
My dad's a program manager.
Yeah.
He cracks the whip.
and I sat there and I tried to embarrass him. You can't embarrass the French.
Really?
Really?
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I told GE, I said, here's the deal. We get our last engines out there, even though the contract was with GE, but they were subbing it out to another GE company. I said, I don't want you to send another engine over to France.
Nope.
I said, otherwise you're going to be providing me spares at no charge. So France will never change. You know that people don't realize that prior to World War II, France had the largest military in the world.
Really?
And prior to World War II, they had the largest military in Europe. And it took Germany, what was it, a couple weeks?
If that.
And they ran over them.
Twice.
So, yeah. We used to tease people. We say, when you look at all the roads, main roads that go to Paris, why they all have street lights, that's so the Germans wouldn't get lost.
Oh man, but it's true.
It is. And you also see this thing with Hitler after they took Paris and they show him he's overlooking Paris, and then he turns around and walks away. I say, you know what he said? He said, "Holy shit." And then left and never went back.
But there is one thing that France has done well and I think can still do well, and that is revolt.
Yeah, they would vote for anything.
Well, true, but when they've had enough, like they paint the town red and not in the fun way.
Well, they got to do something. I mean, I think the EU is gonna break up.
I think so too.
It doesn't make. Yeah, you got all the power in Brussels, and a lot of people don't like that.
Why?
Well, they thought they could create a United States of Europe. And, really?
With countries that hate each other? That's a great idea.
Well, that's what my take was. I said, you're going to get Germany and England and Spain and
No.
France and all them I mean, they've been killing each other now for centuries, and you're going to get them out to all be nice?
No. No, not unless they're drunk, and maybe even then.
Yeah.
Lord of Cancer says, France could have changed in 2017 if Le Pen was elected and turned things around, but no, they didn't.
Yeah.
French people versus other people, it's like Hello Kitty. French people versus other French people, it's like the Expendables. Yeah, I mean, when they've had enough, they've had enough. And honestly, I've been kind of keeping my eye on them because United States, we really don't. We're a lot more passive than we used to be, but I've been waiting for someone to say, can we just call it on the bullshit and get serious about this with the shit that's going on with the pandemic? So I've been looking to France because I'm like, if anyone's going to do it, it's France.
I've been holding off for that for a long time, and it's been a long time. They haven't done anything.
That's sad.
They talk a good story, but that's about as far as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate, but, I got a feeling what will happen now that England broke away. And I got a feeling.
Was that Brexit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was Brexit. And and France and Germany, especially Germany, was upset because Germany basically bankrolls the EU.
I did not know that.
If Germany pulls out, the EU will collapse.
Oh God! So they have all the power.
Well, they got all the money. But
so they have all the power.
They're pissed off is because they're the ones that are funding the EU. And they're getting to a point right now that they're not happy. But as long as Merkel's in there, I don't think anything's going to happen. But if they get a center-right person in, it doesn't have to be a conservative.
No.
But even a center-right in there, I got a feeling that Germany's going to pull out. Once Germany pulls out, the EU collapses then.
How bad is that going to? Sorry, we're getting into politics hour, but it's fascinating.
Well, we're talking Europe and stuff, and we're talking the aftermath of war.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah,
you
so
gotta
I mean,
understand.
there's still a connection here.
Well, because for the longest time, the EU's been trying to get on one standard form of currency. So if Germany backs out, what's that going to do to the economy of the EU?
Well, the same thing. Well, the thing with Britain. Mm-hmm. I told people when they said, "Well, we're going to have one currency," and I said, "The British are not going to give up the pound sterling."
No, never.
Never going to happen. And guess what? They never did.
They never did.
So the euro, you can spend a euro in England, but no, no. Actually, it's about $1.20 right now. I think it is.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. The euro's doing all right, but. It's a matter of British pride.
Oh, of course.
So that's why they weren't going to give up the pound.
They're the original conquerors.
Yeah. But now what will happen is Germany, they'll have to get the Deutschmark back. Mm-hmm. And that's easy enough to do.
Oh,
I mean,
of course.
they could base the value on the EU. And the French franc will have to be reconstituted again and so on and so forth.
Oh, they gave up their franc for
all of them gave them up. Everybody gave up their own currency with the exception of Britain.
That is... Wow, okay, I'm amazed because that's giving up a lot of power.
Well, the thing that also you got really different cultures.
True.
In all the countries in Europe. That's why you look at and say, how do people in Germany who speak German, and right across the border there's France, and they don't speak German, they speak French.
Yeah.
And so on, and then you got Spain, which is Spanish, and they're all right up against each other. It seems kind of odd.
It seems like, and I have limited knowledge on this. It seems like someone wrote this down, like they just got out of college. Like it'd be like like he had like 2 bong hits before this. He's like, it'd be amazing, man, if like we all had the same currency and like we all just came to no plan to make this happen, no accounting for contingencies for if any of these warring factions decided, no, we don't want to give up our power.
But the other part of the thing too, and I got to witness it because again, I used to deal with German companies.
I love German people. They're awesome.
I used to deal with them, and I dealt with the French, and I dealt with the British because I used to deal with Rolls-Royce.
Mm-hmm.
And the Germans, well, I mean, the Germans were fantastic. They're overachievers. I always got I always got my engines on out on time and stuff like that. And then on the other side, I had France. Okay.
Octeric says, college classes have been canceled for 3 days due to winter storms. Are you guys still, like, doing remote education, or are you still going into class? Lord of Cancer says, my French coworkers left because they were fed up with the EU and the socialist policies. Yeah. I agree on that front. A lot. Ryan says, you gotta love the British. I love the British, especially that is my favorite Brit, Mr. Ryan Ashmore. How are you doing, sir? I so want to go to England. Like, I want tea, I want crumpets, I want proper Yorkshire pudding, I want to go to a pub.
Go to British Columbia. Go to Victoria.
I've been to Victoria.
And Vancouver. Well,
England.
the British town in Victoria isn't a whole lot different than being in England.
But I have to have the British accent. You don't get that in Canada.
Well, you better hurry up because London's going through a culture change right now.
Really?
Well, because of the open borders.
Oh.
I don't want to get into it because somebody might consider me kind of a racist type of thing. But so I mean, you can guess what's going on in London.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's what's happened in a lot of Europe right now. It's what got a lot of Europeans upset, is because they allowed a lot of people from the Middle East in, and they're complaining now is that they're losing their culture.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's interesting. RHINE says, one problem with the EU is their open border policy. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of my friends from over there complain about the Romani, the gypsies. I didn't know that was still an issue. I'll be at the airport when you do, girl. Yay! Oh my gosh, we'd have to film some stuff together. That would be so cool. If you guys have not checked out Ryan Ashmore, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir, you are currently streaming on Twitch. He has like a crazy setup behind him. It is so cool. You'll love him. He's a total sweetheart and one of the first friends I ever made on YouTube. Lord of Cancer says, France, the country that made the TGV, Concorde, Chanel, Airbus, Peugeot, Carrefour, Alcatel, Christian Lacroix, and Renault, is also the same country that has leasing employees. Well, I mean, and I've been a big proponent of the 32-hour week, because now I will admit there is a lazy side of me as well. And if I look at my 40-hour week, when I was in an office, when you're working at home, it is completely different. But when you're in an office, there's not always stuff that fills out a 40-hour week because managers don't properly resource their people. So sometimes you're honestly either looking for something to do or you've got something to do, but you know you can get it done in an hour, but you're scheduled for like 4 hours, so you're going to waste about 30 of them.
That's because you never worked in the aviation business.
Oh, of course I didn't. But it's... I would love to actually test this, make it 32-hour week. Now, is it applicable for all people? Maybe, maybe not. But see who it's applicable for, because remember, a lot of people said, working remote is just going to kill a whole bunch of industries. Well, now you had to, and now you can see who it kind of works for and who it doesn't.
The problem with the 32-hour week is the price of everything's going to go up.
Well, that's true.
And that's what the people, once they find that out, then they're against it.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's a good point.
Unless you find a way to increase productivity
mm-hmm.
to cover for that extra 8 hours, then that means everything that you're buying right now, the price is going to go up.
So, yeah, 32-hour week doesn't work in, like, manufacturing.
No, I mean, otherwise, well, it can work, but again, the key thing in manufacturing is a 40-hour work week plus, and if you're not producing in 40 hours, then that means that, you're not going to get out as much out the door, you're going to have shortages, and you're going to have higher prices. And that's just a fact of life.
But what about for, like, office jobs?
Well, again, I mean, it depends.
Mm-hmm.
You can replace a lot of office people.
Yeah, that's true.
Because basically what they're, office people, I don't want to put them down, but basically,
I'm an office person.
Well, basically, what they are is they're a draw against the financials of a company, but they're a necessity. You got to have them.
Yeah.
But when you start getting on a production floor, that's where the money gets made.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay? And if you were producing 1,000 cars a week, you're not going to do that in 32-hour week. So therefore, you're going to produce maybe about 20% or 10% less, or 15% less, and that means that that's going to hit you on your bottom line.
Oh, and that's why I said, like, would it be more applicable for, like, office jobs rather than manufacturing jobs?
Well, I'm a believer that you get as efficient as you can, and to me, you never put a piece of paper, a pencil to a piece of paper when you got all this electronics.
True.
So I'm a big believer that the best way to protect the forest and the trees is get rid of the paper.
That makes sense. So one could almost make the argument of, does the 32-hour week make more sense, or are we just not resourcing properly so a 32-hour week for some can work?
I don't know. See, all my years in business, I never had a problem filling a 40-hour week.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
In fact, I didn't have a problem filling a 50-hour week. Okay, I mean, that's just the way the airline business or the aviation business. You're constantly, there is no shortage of working your butt off.
That's true.
So that's just the way life is. But that's the thing, like with the $15 an hour minimum wage. You're going to start seeing a lot of people lose their jobs because nobody wants to pay $15 an hour to an unskilled worker coming out of school. So that's why you're seeing more and more of the fast food places getting kiosks in.
Oh, that's
See, so they got to watch that. Me, I worked minimum wage when it used to be about $2.75 at one time. You know what that did for me? Gave me a lot of motivation. I said, I didn't want to do that anymore. But then again, I took every advantage that was offered to me in order to advance. And now they say, well, we ought to give people a livable wage. Well, we need to give them the opportunity so that they can qualify to earn for a livable wage.
Yeah.
Not just to give it to them.
And that's fair.
And that's right. The whole thing is that there's a saying that goes around now is that you want to guarantee equal opportunity, but not guarantee equal results.
And a lot of people are pushing for equal results over the equal opportunity.
The equal opportunity, I think everybody deserves that opportunity.
Of course.
The results is basically the person taking advantage of the opportunity.
Do they or do they not?
I mean, can you imagine paying a hamburger flipper $34 an hour?
Well, I mean, it depends on the cost of inflation. Sorry, real quick, I gotta do this. What's up, dude? This is Cocktail Dad. We brought him on to play Call of Duty World War II, not because he lived in World War II, although his dad, my grandfather, did. He was actually in Vietnam, but we only had like one scenario of that in Call of Duty Cold War, so we never had a chance really to... Oh, no, I did take you through that.
Yeah, for short part.
Yeah, and you told me, like, this isn't real. No one goes through the villages. And
no, they go through the villages, but they were showing too many urban, city kind of fights, and the only time that there was really anything like that was during the Tet Offensive.
Yeah.
Everything else, you're out in the jungle, in the villages and things. So
what was the Tet Offensive?
It was January of 1968. And typically that was a peaceful time. Every year there was a ceasefire and stuff. So, but what the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong decided to do was they were going to make one big effort to try to win the war. So what they did on Tet is they went and they attacked every town and village everywhere, U.S. bases and stuff, all in one big offensive.
Ooh.
And it almost worked, except we beat the hell out of them.
So it was like their version of Blitzkrieg.
Right. And it didn't work. But it did politically because of people like Walter Cronkite and the other press that was out there. And there's a book that's written by General Go, and he was the head of the North Vietnamese military. And he says, the Viet Cong, we beat them so bad that they basically they were ineffective as a fighting force.
Really?
The North Vietnamese wanted to end the war. They wanted to sue for peace. And then they watched the same thing we did one night when Walter Cronkite got up there and told the world that the war can't be won.
Unbelievable.
So what they did after that is that the Viet Cong, North Vietnamese said, all we got to do is just keep on killing Americans and then they'll finally
get
leave.
it on camera, yeah.
And they'll leave, and that's exactly what happened. So,
bastard.
But then again, if you look at Southeast Asia, that's also affected by World War II. I mean, if you look at the consequences of World War I, led to World War II.
Oh, in a huge way.
And then World War II basically affected everything, every aspect of global history all the way up through today.
Why? Is it because of the domino effect? Or?
No, it's not. Well, it's just the results. Okay, and there was a lot of colonialism before then, and that changed things. We became the world superpower, and so everything that's going on right now is still alliances that were put together during World War II. And so that's all still in place right now. So World War II had a long-lasting effect. And then on top of that, the biggest thing in World War II is that we dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan, and people saw what happened, and that's why you never saw an atomic war since.
Oh, because of the Mexican standoff, yeah.
It scared everybody. So we had this thing with the Chinese and with the Soviet Union called MAD. Mutual Assured Destruction. So that was one of the positive things that came out of World War II. But Southeast Asia, it was a result of France between the wars, and then they tried to get back to it, and that created everything else that happened and got us stuck in the Vietnam, and we should never really have gone into there. We should have told the French, "Hey, go have a nice life," but we're not going to join that party. And it created the alliance with us and Japan because of Korea. And
really?
The threat,
That's what did it?
The threat of North Korea.
Who
And today,
knew?
because they were afraid North Korea would take South Korea, and then if you look at the map, it's
where that could take them into.
It takes right in Japan.
Wow.
So we needed to make sure that we prevented that from happening. Now you got Taiwan, and China's making all kinds of threats to take over Taiwan
in a big way.
And that's why we got two supercarrier strike forces right now in the South China Sea. So I don't think there's going to be a war between us and China because China needs us too much. Their economy is dependent on us. So
because we buy a lot of shit from there. So
yeah. But all in all, everything that you see right now, you can trace it all the way back to the remnants of World War II.
Wow.
And then World War II all the way back to World War I.
It all came from, wow,
that's why to me
effect.
History is the most important subject in school. The problem in schools, they teach dates, places,
names,
and, and to me that's nothing. I mean, that's a waste of time.
No, you got to learn the consequences.
You got to look at cause and effect, and that's what makes a big difference.
Yeah, and we were actually just talking about that in our last stream. Was like, it's really sad what's happening to the education system because it's like there's stuff like this that's so valuable to learn, but people are so bored, myself included, in a class because the teachers don't make this fun. Like you want stuff to stick with people, make it fun or reward them.
Right.
It like that's basic, but a lot of history gets lost because you had to for a test you had to know names, dates, and
well, in my time in business, I went to Germany, and I spent a lot of time in Japan. And one of the things I did in both places is that people were still hated, the Germans for what they did with, as far as the Nazis. And then the same thing was happening in Japan. So what I looked at Germany and I said, okay, who's really responsible? Is it the German people? But then one day I was in the NCO transit barracks up in Yokota Air Base, Japan. And I was flipping through channels. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I was flipping through radio channels trying to find an English-speaking station. And all of a sudden I found one. I'm listening to it, and it's like a news show, talk show. It was Radio Moscow. I didn't realize it until an hour into it. Because I was listening, and what they were saying kind of made sense.
Uh-huh.
But I had already read all the newspapers and stuff, and they exaggerated some stuff.
Yeah,
but it didn't sound exaggerated. But then I thought about it, and I said, if that's the only news
that
people get, then how's that going to... And then you get some Americans that turn around and say, well, they should have known. I said, no, at the time, we had multiple sources of news.
Of course.
All right? And therefore, we had a better idea of what was going on, where the Germans didn't.
No,
and
they controlled the news.
They controlled the news. The Soviet Union controlled the news, and so did China. So you got to take that into consideration. And I said, if we had that same issue in the United States, we wouldn't be any better off.
Of course not.
You know. So anyway, that started me to start thinking about, well, why are we still beating up on Germany for World War II? Everybody who was the instigators of that war are dead.
Yeah.
And then I looked at Japan. Well, Japan was really bad during World War II. I mean, some of the things they did between the rape of Nanking and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But then you look at it, and Japanese culture said that to surrender was the worst thing you can do.
Oh, yeah.
So
tantamount to the whole bunch of stuff.
And that's why they treat the prisoners and the people they conquered the same way. And then I looked at the same thing. I said, well, who was really responsible? Well, it was the army at the time.
Yes.
And they started the thing, and everybody blamed Yamamoto. Yamamoto did not want to see a war between Japan and the United States. He spent a lot of time in America. And he knew what we could do. And he flat out told the Japanese government, he says, I can guarantee you 6 months.
That's all that they could do.
That's right. It's because the United States will be able to put their manufacturing and stuff to a point that then we would start losing the war. So then why do you blame the Japanese people then when it was the Japanese army that dictated?
Oh, I know.
You know, so you start looking into things like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like when you look at what's going on in the Middle East. You know, you look at the three major religions. You know, you have Christianity, which is also Catholicism, the Jews, and the Muslims. There's a single point in that thing, and that's Abraham.
Yep.
Right? And so therefore, you sit there and you say, why can't they get along?
It is something, like, not to get into the religious aspect of this, but
again, it's cause and effect.
It is, yeah.
You know, and like people say, well, we have to, you know, there's got to be peace in the Middle East. I said, there hasn't been peace in the Middle East since Cain killed Abel, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is. And then the British went in there around World War II or between the wars and stuff, and they created countries. There was no Saudi Arabia.
I didn't even know that.
No, there was the Arabian Peninsula, and Saudi Arabia was all tribal.
Oh.
And they all hated each other.
Oh.
And then Saud, who was the king, turned around and conquered them all and then created a country. And if you look at the other countries that's in the Middle East, outside of Iran, which used to be called Persia,
yep,
and Syria, and Morocco, and so everything else, that was all manufactured by Europe.
I did not know that.
They created those nations.
Huh.
And the thing is, the people that were there, they didn't have any national pride. Same thing like with Afghanistan. You know, there is no national pride. And everybody who's gone in there to try to create a country out of a nation out of that,
good luck.
But again, you got to go back to the history. And you got to have an understanding of why people did what they did. And now in today's world, you know, when you've got threats and stuff like that, people have to really understand it. Is this a real threat? Is this a fake threat?
Where's it coming from?
You know, who is the real allies? There's a thing in the Middle East that I learned a long time ago. Is that the enemy of my enemy is my friend, which means that they're your friend until they're no longer your friend.
Until it's no longer beneficial to them. Yes.
So that's why if you look at these wars and stuff, a lot of them could have been prevented, but people didn't understand.
The domino
World War I,
effect,
they blamed the Germans for it. Actually, World War I was a whole bunch of European countries that looking for an excuse to go to war.
Was it Bosnia and shit? I keep forgetting.
It was the Serbs.
Yes.
Yeah, and somebody shot the King Ferdinand.
Yeah.
And then, but that was just something. I mean, they were looking for an excuse.
And that was the powder
excuse,
keg.
okay?
Yeah, right there. Oh, see, Lord of Cancer says Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and even Vietnam and the Philippines can't take on China by themselves. The key thing being by themselves. He also says, it wasn't until I reached high school when they started teaching things we did learn. It was hands-on learning and an online school. That is cool. I learned so much. I learned about the Marines in Lebanon in 1983.
Yep.
There was a U.S. intervention in the Lebanese Civil War. I didn't even know the Lebanese had a civil war.
Yep, and a bunch of Marines got killed in Lebanon because somebody there was a bombing or some it was either U.S. Embassy, the Marine barracks, or somebody. About 200 and somewhat Marines got killed.
Oh.
But then again, we were trying to do nation building. We do a terrible job at nation building.
Yes, we do.
Our military breaks things. That's what they're trained to do. Oh, really?
We're very effective on that front.
Well, that's what they're trained to do. Mm-hmm. Eh? And then you put them in a situation like in Iraq, where that was a civil war in essence. We started a damn thing. We didn't have to get involved. We could have played with Saddam Hussein anytime we wanted, just launch a cruise missile up his ass, whenever we thought he was constipated. I mean, that was that easy to do. So we didn't have to do that. But then again, now we're trying to get. You got 3 sects going on over there, and and they don't like each other.
Nope.
And you're trying to get them to come together. And that's almost an impossibility. There'll never be peace in Afghanistan because you got people up there that hate each other, and they get these long memories they never forget. See?
And there's religious ties in there too, which makes it real deep.
So
in the blood.
So as a veteran, to me, if you're going to send us to war, you better have a damn good reason. You better have a full commitment to win that damn thing. Eh?
You better have a plan.
And have a plan and carry it out. Mm-hmm. And otherwise you end up with Vietnam, where we had 58,000 of friends and neighbors and stuff like that got killed for nothing. Mm-hmm. But going back to where we're talking about with wars and stuff, that's why it's important that we learn the history and we have an understanding of what can be done, what can't be done.
Yes.
Who the bad guys are and who the good guys are, but most of the time it's a lot of gray area.
Oh, true, of course, because at the time, kind of a scenario.
Exactly. And once you get to figure that out, now you can start putting some policies together and understand, well, we can't get involved with this because everybody else tried. I mean, hell, the Russians owned Afghanistan for 10 years and lost.
They lost against Afghanistan?
They got run out.
And then what do we...
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yep. And so that was when Jimmy Carter decided that we were going to boycott the Russian Olympics and stuff, and it got to be a joke.
Yeah.
But again, we should have learned a lesson from that. Mm-hmm. And we didn't. It's tribal. There's never been a nation.
No.
And we tried to go in there and try to create one, and it's not going to happen. So that's why it's important when you look at wars. What's really more important when you're looking at wars is what's really started them.
What's the cause and effect?
You got to go deep and deep and deep to really find out why somebody did that. Mm-hmm. Why was there an Adolf Hitler? Well, it was an Adolf Hitler because after the Versailles Treaty, Germany was a mess.
They were disgraced.
They were just coming back together when they had the crash of 29. Mm-hmm. They had borrowed a whole bunch of money from the West.
Yep.
And the notes came due, and it collapsed the German market money.
You made them desperate. You put them in a corner.
But then again, one of the reasons why it did is because the German mark was worthless.
Yeah.
Guess where the United States dollar is going to be if we keep on throwing trillions and trillions of dollars out there? Pretty soon, you better watch out. There's something you're going to have to pay on that.
Yeah, this is why. Again, not to get too political, but for everyone's like, well, why can't the government just give us money during this time? Because there's a cause and effect when you start putting money, and the effect is really bad.
It is. That's why if you look at Venezuela right now, the inflation rate in Venezuela is like
crazy.
It's like 1,000 a year. Mm-hmm. 1,000% a year. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, that was us when we were on the gold standard, right?
Well, no, the gold standard there's a lot of argument that says the gold standard didn't do anything. Okay, it really didn't have a lot of effect. People just thought that we float the value of the dollar and take it off, the gold standard and stuff. But that doesn't. It's how much money are you putting out there?
Right.
And the more money you put out there, the less value it has. Mm-hmm. And that's what the problem is. So again, you look at history, and that's what happened in Germany. And the German mark was worthless. Mm-hmm. It wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. and people were suffering. And then you get this guy like Hitler comes in and he says, "I'm going to fix it.
I can solve all your problems."
And he put people to work. He had them build the Autobahn and stuff like that. And everybody liked him because their lives were better. They kind of heard in the background what he was doing to the Jews, but they were still saying, yeah, but that kind of thing. But if we had done things differently after Versailles, in fact, Woodrow Wilson was against the Versailles Treaty because he told them what was going to happen. And it did.
So Woodrow Wilson kind of foresaw this.
He saw it, and he argued with the Allies and said that the treaty was too harsh on Germany, and we're going to end up paying the price, and that's what happened.
Wow.
So again, you can't separate from the beginning of the United States all the way up through today. You can't separate anything. I mean, everything has consequences all the way up through there, through the American Revolution, all the way up through the Spanish-American War, all the way up through World War I, then World War II, and so on and so forth. So that's why when you look at things like this and you really study them, and you get a real good understanding of why things happen. If you know why it happened, then you can prevent a lot of things from happening.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because in looking at that, there may have been a chance we might have made World War II not as horrible.
And you can have this discussion without it being political because it's not really political.
It's cause and effect.
It's history. And you got to be able to have an open mind and got to keep people away who are going to say, well, yeah, but it was this party or that party. No. You don't learn anything that way.
No.
Then you start, you can debate, but you can't let a debate turn into an argument.
That's because then it stops being a debate.
That's right. Now, and I usually walk away.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point. So that's why when you do these things with World War II and you look at it and you start saying, yeah, it's a game, and there's everybody shooting up and stuff. But why were they doing that?
Yeah.
Hey?
How did we get here?
Yeah, whose idea was this,
And I wish they had a little bit more of that. And again, like Call of Duty, and I think they did a better job in this in the Cold War game because you started to see, not in the actual instance of the game, but you can start to see the peripherals around it. Like the whole point of that game is you're going through here, you're thinking, we're the United States, it is 1981, we are in the right, and then you find out, holy shit, we put 50 nukes right along the Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
Are we really the good guys anymore?
Well, the world isn't black and white.
Oh,
Nothing's
of course
black
not.
And white. Everything is shades of gray.
Yes.
And a lot of times the only, you got to choose between two bad things.
Bad and worse.
Yeah, and that's tough. When do you go to war and when do you not? Could we have ended World War II quicker by cutting a deal with Germany or something like? I mean, there's all kinds of consequences in there.
A lot of what ifs.
Yeah, I mean, if we would have turned around and threatened Germany in 1939, when Hitler
directly
was trying to take over Australia and stuff, the German army was ready to overthrow him.
Really?
They didn't they looked at him as these were professional military guys.
Yeah.
And Hitler was a goddamn corporal.
That's true.
So they used to call him the little corporal. so they wanted to get rid of him. But then as he became more successful and they took Australia without firing a shot and they took Czechoslovakia without firing a shot and so on and so forth, he became so politically strong they couldn't do anything. But if Britain or France or us would have made a threat,
well, if all of us together would have made a threat,
Hitler would have bailed. Or they would have killed him. So, you got to look at stuff like that.
And that's the shit they don't teach you in
history
class.
They don't. It's really a shame because to me, if you're not teaching that,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, so what? What does a date mean?
Yeah, it means nothing.
Yeah. So as you do games that have war and it's part of history, it's something to think about.
And I agree. And this is stuff that I wish more people would teach in high school. And if you guys happen to come across any, because there have been really amazing creators in YouTube, especially ones that talk about history, like mine, and I mentioned this before, again, I'm not affiliated with them, I just love their content oversimplified. They teach through humor, but they really show you, like, the shit that happens behind the scenes, but they make it funny so you retain it. If you guys happen to find any stuff like that where like, oh yeah, I'm actually learning, but I'm learning more than I ever learned in high school, please feel free to put those links in Discord. There's a link for vids in our Discord link. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. Hi, Kat. Yep, it's about that time. She's starved for attention. So we're going to see if there's someone that we can raid. Thank you so much, Cocktail Dad. This has been so much fun doing. And if you guys happen to know of any other games that you think would be fun to have Cocktail Dad involved, we're going to be starting on Shadows of the Colossus, which is a classic, with Sister Cocktail starting next Friday. So if you'd like to tune into that, hit the subscribe button down below. I'm going to see if we can find ourselves someone to raid. I don't know if anyone else is live at the moment. Let me mute that. No, we're the only ones live. Wow. God, YouTube, you need to get fucking serious about streaming. For God's sake. Okay, that's still muted. Is there anyone we can go visit? No. Fantastic. Alright, well, we're gonna wrap up here. A golden holder! Sorry, we are wrapping up right now, but we'll be back on Monday with some Death Road to Canada. So if you ever want to be a very cute 8-bit character fighting your way through the undead to get to Canada, join us on Monday, and I will see you, awesome people, in our Monday stream.